Good morning, my dear students. Welcome to Narayana Live Classes. My name is Sanmesh, and today we are going to see the solutions of Class 7 Physics assignment, which was provided to you on 17th of June. This assignment is based on the topic motion and time. Let us start. So, our first question is, how do you quantitatively differentiate between slow and fast motion? How do you quantitatively differentiate between slow and fast motion? Basically, the whole idea of slow moving and fast moving object is based on the fact that the object covers the given distance in a lesser amount of time or a larger amount of time. If the object covers a given distance in a shorter amount of time, let us say, then we say that the object is moving fast or the motion is fast. If the same distance that object covers in a longer amount of time, then we say that the motion is slow. So the answer to this question is an object which takes longer time to cover a certain distance is called as slow motion, whereas an object which takes shorter time to cover same distance is said to be fast motion. I hope the point is clear. Let us proceed further to the next question. Question number 2 is, how can you tell something is moving? Question number 2 is, how can you tell something is moving? Now, usually the motion term is defined as when an object is moving, we say that its position is changing with respect to time and surrounding, with respect to a certain object kept in the surrounding. That certain object is called as frame of reference. Let us try to understand with the help of a simple diagram. For example, now here I have a tree and there is a boy standing near the tree. After some time, the boy is at different position. So when I compare boy's distance from the tree, you can see it changes with time. So I can say that the boy is moving with respect to tree. I can say that boy is moving with respect to tree. Here, tree is my frame of reference. It is a reference point with respect to which I am comparing my motion. I am studying my motion. The reference point is the point with respect to which we measure all the parameters, all the quantities related to the moving objects. So an object is said to be in motion if its distance relative to another object is changing. Now this another object here I have considered as a tree. So this another object is a reference point, is a reference frame. And we might have noticed, we might have heard that the motion and rest, the concept of motion and rest, it is relative in nature. It depends upon frame of reference. That we'll discuss in our next question. Question number 3. Why do stationary things seem to move when you are riding in a car? So when you are in a car, when you observe outside the window, you see that all the other objects, the outside world is moving in backward direction. That's because due to the fact that rest and motion are relative in nature. They depend upon frame of reference. Now in your frame of reference, for example, when you are in the car and when you are driving a car, the person who is sitting next to you inside the car is at rest because he is also moving along with you and his distance is not changing with respect to you. That's why we say that that person is at rest. But whereas if you see outside the window, all the other objects and things, they are moving in the backward direction. In your frame of reference, from your frame of reference, if you observe the world outside, it is moving in the backward direction. It is changing the distance with respect to you. That's why we can say that the outside world is moving. The objects which are outside, which usually are at rest, are moving. So all these things, these depends upon the relative concept of motion and rest. So the answer to this question that we can write is, stationary things seem to move when you are riding in a car because motion is relative. Motion is relative means it depends upon frame of reference. I hope the point is clear. Let us proceed further to the next question. Question number 4 is, what is basic unit of speed? Now, speed is defined as, usually we define speed as distance divided by time. Now, SI unit of distance, as we all know, it is meters, whereas SI unit of time is second. So the entire unit of speed, the entire basic SI unit of speed comes to be meters per second. Meters per second. It is written in this form, or sometimes it is also written meter into second inverse. I hope the point is clear. Let us proceed further to the next question. Question number 5. What is a uniform motion? Question number 5 is, what is uniform motion? Now, as the word suggests, uniform means same throughout. Now, if an object is moving along a straight line, why? Because it should not change the direction here and there. Otherwise, it will be non-uniform. If an object is moving along a straight line, with a constant speed, that means it is not changing its speed is constant throughout, then we say that the speed of an object is uniform or a constant. Also, we can say that the motion itself is uniform. So the answer to this question is, an object moving along a straight line with a constant speed is said to be in a uniform motion. It is said to be in a uniform motion. I hope the point is clear. Let us proceed further to the next question. Question number 6 is very easy. What is speed? Now, speed is defined as distance traveled by the object per unit time. Distance traveled by the object per unit time. So the mathematical formula for speed is, just now we saw, it is distance upon time. Distance upon time. Also, we saw the SI unit of speed, which is meters per second. I hope the point is clear. Let us proceed further to the next question. Question number 7 is, what is non-uniform motion? Again, what is non-uniform motion? Just now we spoke about uniform motion. In that, the object which is moving along a straight line with a constant speed throughout is said to be a uniform motion. But in case of non-uniform motion, an object moving along a straight line, if it changes the speed throughout its journey, that means its speed is not constant, it is continuously changing. Then in that case, we can say that the motion of the object is non-uniform. The motion of the object is non-uniform when the speed keeps on changing. I hope the point is clear. Let us proceed further to the next question. Question number 8. What is speedometer? What is a speedometer? If you remember, in our last assignment, we spoke about odometer. Now, odometer was a device which measures the distance traveled by a vehicle. But speedometer, as the name suggests, it is a device or an instrument which indicates the speed of a vehicle. Speedometer is an instrument which indicates speed of a vehicle. Let's not forget. Odometer measures the distance traveled by the vehicle. Speedometer indicates the speed of a vehicle. Question number 9. So question number 9 is a numerical question. A dog runs at a speed of 100 meters in a minute. So dog covers 100 meters in a minute. We have to find its speed in kilometer per hour. So speed of the dog is already given. It is 100 meter per minute. Now we have to convert it to kilometer per hour. So let us keep 100 as it is. Now this meter, we have to convert it to kilometer. Now we all know that 1 meter is 1/1000 of kilometer. This conversion we all know. Also, to convert minute into hour, what we have to do? We have to just divide it by 60. So 1 minute is 1/60 hour. 1 minute is 1/60 hour. So let us solve this. So this 100 upon 1000 kilometer. Now what we'll do is, we'll take this 1/60 in the numerator. While doing that, we have to take the reciprocal of it. So this will become into 60 by R. So let us solve it. Let us cancel out some zeros. This we can cancel. This also we can cancel. The final product that is left is 6, and this kilometer per hour. So 100 meter per minute is equal to 6 kilometer per hour. I hope the numerical is clear. Let us proceed further to the next question. So our next question is also a numerical. Okay. A car X starts at 5 p.m. at a speed 60 km per hour. Another car Y starts from a point at 6:20 p.m. at a speed 80 kilometers per hour. At what time X and Y will meet each other? Again, I repeat my question. A car X starts at 5 p.m. with a speed of 60 kilometers per hour. Another car Y starts from a same point at 6:20 p.m. at the speed 80 kilometers per hour. We have to find the time at which X and Y both will meet each other. Now, you might have noticed that when the car Y starts from the starting point, the car X has already traveled for 1 hour 20 minutes, right? Because car X starts at 5 p.m. and the car Y starts 1 hour 20 minutes later. So by the time car Y starts, car X already has traveled for 1 hour 20 minutes. So how much distance the car X will travel before the car Y starts? That's we have to find out. Before that, 1 hour 20 minutes, let us convert it into hours, entirely into hours. So 1 hour 20 minutes is nothing but total 80 minutes, correct? And to convert minutes into hours, we just have to divide it by 60. So this is nothing but 4 by 3 hour. So 1 hour 20 minutes is 4 by 3 hour. Now we have to find how much distance the car X will travel before the car Y starts. That means how much distance the car X will travel in 1 hour 20 minutes, that we are finding. So distance traveled is nothing but speed into time. Speed into time. Now speed of car X is given 60 kilometers per hour. As you can see, it is 60 kilometers per hour. So 60 kilometer per hour into time. Time is how much? 4 by 3 hour. Just now we found. So we can solve this. 3 ones are 23s are correct, and 24s are 80. And this R and R will get cancelled. So the final answer is 80 kilometer. Now, so the car X will travel 80 kilometers before the car Y starts. Now, let us assume that car Y meet car X at time t. Car Y meet car X at time t. So the distance traveled by car Y when before meeting car X, distance traveled by car Y in time t, let us say. So speed into time, it will be again speed into time. So what is speed of car Y? Speed of car Y is 80 kilometers per hour. So it will be 80 into t. Let us write it as 80 into time t. Next, distance traveled by the car from starting time to the time it meets the car Y. Now, before the car Y starts, the car X already has traveled 80 kilometers plus the distance traveled after that when it before meeting the car Y. So 80 kilometer plus speed of car X, which is 60 kilometer, into time t. Into time t. So these both are the distances. This is the distance 80 into t is the distance traveled by the car Y before meeting car X, and this is the distance traveled by the car X before meeting car Y. Obviously, these two distances should be equal, then only both the cars will meet at a point. So let us equate both these distances. So 80 t is equal to 80 kilometer plus 60 into t. So 80 t minus 60 t is equal to 80. I have taken 60 on the left hand side. So this implies 20 t is equal to 80. Again, T is equal to 80 by 20, which is nothing but 4 hours. So 4 hours, after 4 hours, after the car Y starts, both the cars will meet at a point. After the car Y starts, 4 hours after that, car X and Y will meet each other. I hope the solution is clear. Thank you. Thank you so much.